Today we're going to talk a little bit about gear. I kind of want to show you what I use and how I use what I have to create the film and media that I do on board these boats. Welcome to another video. My name's Watney. I create social media content for super yachts and I fly bush planes around South Africa when I'm not sailing the seas. That's a massive beach bar. All these boats are kind of going out to. It's just kind of docked there and everybody kind of collaborates and gets together, has a few beers, and then they all go home. That's the road. The most beautiful ocean I've seen in a long time. Okay, there's two people I really want to thank in this video. Two sets of people. The first one is you guys. I've been pretty much unemployed and at home doing editing jobs here and there for the last year. And I just want to say thank you so much for supporting me the way that you have, sharing the videos like you have. As my content gets shared, I end up in more insane places like this, creating more and more content for you guys. I'm in Bahamas, there's boats everywhere. I've been filming 7 boats in like 14 days or something ridiculous. The second set of people I want to thank is the sponsors that often jump out to YouTubers like myself. A quick 45-second advert and it changes things for us. I get to upgrade my gear, which is probably gonna do with this sponsor of this video is upgrade my gear, considering this entire conversation on this video is about gear, and that sponsor in this case is Skillshare. I've spoken about it before. It's a perfect place for people that are interested in creativity all the way through to productivity. I've used Skillshare to be able to further my skills and knowledge on things like After Effects and Photoshop to create the thumbnails that I do for my video. However, if you're not interested in filmmaking aspects, there are tons of courses for you to be able to browse through, like the ones you're seeing now. One of the courses I'm really excited about at the moment is done by MKBHD. He's a massive creator on YouTube and he talks about his entire filmmaking process from scripts all the way through to the editing process, and it's something that I myself am actually going through as we speak. To learn from somebody who has 10 million plus subscribers is a massive, massive benefit. The first 1,000 people to click the link in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium. After that, it's only about $10 a month. Skillshare, thank you so much for sponsoring this video, for continuously sponsoring my video and assisting me to be a better filmmaker. All right, back to the video. I'm not going to show you everything I have, but I am going to talk about the main bits of footage that I use. And in this case, it was basically 4 pieces of equipment. GoPro. And in this case, it was basically 5 pieces of equipment that I used for pretty much every single boat that I filmed. And depending at what time I'm posting this video, I'm here to shoot 7 yachts in 14 days. So it's getting pretty full. Let's start with the most obvious one, DJI Mavic Air 2. This has been my go-to travel drone for a while, based on the fact that it can film 4K at 50 frames per second, meaning that's really high quality, and being able to slow it down by 2, which means that there's still some form of slow motion if I need it. Pop this thing into sport mode, it speeds up a hell of a lot more. The controls get a little more twitchy, but it allows you to get some incredible wraparound shots. And honestly, this thing is insane. Here's some footage that I've captured with just this Mavic Air 2. Next up, we're talking GoPros. I got 3 of them here. GoPro South Africa allows me to use their latest cameras, and every year I just kind of give it back to them and then they give me the new ones. So thank you so much, GoPro South Africa. I sincerely appreciate it. Let's start it with these 2. These are the 360 camera, the GoPro Hero Max. This is an insane tool. However, some of the shots can look a little, what's the word that we use? Gimmicky. When I say gimmicky, you wouldn't create a full cinematic film with just this camera. You use it for interesting shots, or I do anyway. I put it on a super long pole. I'll tie it up to the flagpole so that I get the boat while it's cruising to create this kind of movement shot. I use it for Instagram reels, and I use it for select shots for YouTube videos as well. The other really fun thing that you do on that pole, because it cuts the pole out, is you can attach it to things like jet skis, like it just flew by past me, and attach it to SUPs, paddle skis. I've attached these things to hydrofoils. It cuts out the pole and creates for a really unique shot. This is some of the footage that I've shot, I mean, even on my plane, but with the boats, just on this trip alone. These things are insane. After that, we got the GoPro Hero 9, the latest edition GoPro that's been released. I love this camera. They've come a long way. I've had the GoPro Hero 1 all the way through now to this one, and this is obviously, even though it's the latest one, somehow they've managed to do it, my favorite GoPro. What I do with this camera, and in fact I haven't used it for much else on this entire trip, is in collaboration with a friend of mine's product called GDome. The GDome is something I highly recommend having. I pop this camera in there and it allows me to create those elaborate split shots. So I'll often have guests dive in, I'll chase them with sea bobs or underwater sea scooters, and obviously for diving and snorkeling, it's incredible. I use it for photo and for video. So this Hero 9 and its amazing little sensor and its camera capabilities mixed in with an accessory like a GoDome, it's worth having in your quiver of camera gear. Gosh, this sunset, I might have to get the drone out again. Okay, moving on. This little piece of tech is also insane. You don't always need a drone to be able to capture those running shots. If you've got a gimbal like this and the camera that I'm recording on, which is my Sony a7 III, you're probably going to get higher quality, better imagery from this and that camera that you're on right now than you're gonna get from a drone. I often capture drone running shots from a tender, which means I lift the drone up, fly it from the tender, capture the content while the boat's moving, bring the drone back, switch over to this one, and either put it into 4K and capture like running shots, super high stable running shots, or I'll put it into slow motion and get some more zoomed oriented elaborate shots with the camera that you're on right now. So this is my interior cinematography shots, like the sort of more boring real estate style videos that you create. I use this all the time, and I use it for running shots as well. Another really great thing to do is if you put your camera into somewhat of a slow shutter speed, that means that it takes longer to take the picture, often what a lot of people do for night photography, etc. I will then use this gimbal to take those photographs. Geez, that boat's coming close. I'll use this to take those photographs, which means it's sitting stable, I'm tracking the boat, and it allows me to create like a blurry water shot with the boat showcasing motion. Here's some images that I've taken to give you an idea.
Last but not least, and definitely not the latest edition, is the camera that you're on right now. It's a Sony a7 III. It is my go-to camera for photo and for film. It will be upgraded soon, probably to the Sony a7S III, which is a powerhouse video machine, but this camera that you're on does the job insanely well. My opinion when it comes to having these mirrorless cameras is to have a range of lenses. I shoot wide for inside to kind of show the boat off in its spaces, but I need to have a more portrait shot for when shooting guests or having models like I did have on the other boats. And then in final, a zoom lens. That zoom lens gives depth. So if I shoot from further away, kind of shows like a big blown out backdrop, especially if the island's further away, and then some really nice detail shots for the boat as well. So Sony a7 III, the one that you're on, 3 different lenses, my Ronin stabilizer, which I hope to upgrade soon as well, my Mavic Air 2, and a couple of GoPros with the accessories. Now there's a few other accessories that I'm posting down below that I highly recommend. There's a company called Air as well that I'm a really big fan of, and a friend of mine, Chris Rogers, has created some insane content on, by basically taking those things that you used to grow up throwing as a kid, mounted with a GoPro in the front. Is another insane accessory. Mine's in the mail on the way to me. I'm sad I didn't have it for this trip, but I will have it in future trips as well. Link down below is a range of everything that I've just spoken about, and I highly recommend you go and have a look at some of it, price it out as well to get an idea as to what's more important for you, and make the decisions as to what kind of gear you want to have for your travel filmmaking experiences. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope it helped. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. This sunset's insane. I'm not going to lose it. I'm going to get another battery. Oh my gosh. I'm going to get another battery and film a little bit more. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.